What's up, guys and gals? Time for another Record of Ragnarok episode review for Season 3, and this will be Episode 3 entitled Chi Yo. Now, in the last two videos, I did not, I believe the first episode didn't actually have the ending theme and stuff, but we haven't talked, before we get underway with the episode, about the opening and the ending theme for Season 3. Now, I will say, animation-wise, there's nothing very new. Storyboard-wise, it's very basic. The opening for Season 3. Because it's just showcasing who's fighting who. We get a little bit of a matchup thing, and it's some stills and some stuff like that. Like, nothing really crazy, you know what I mean? Nothing a little bit outside of the box. Nothing, a small hint at the very end, a flash, a hint of something that we're going to find out, of course, later. And stuff like that. We already know about this reveal in the manga, so there's a quick flash of that and stuff, but for the most part, it's okay. Here's this fighter for round 7, and this fighter for round 7, now this fighter for round 8, and this fighter for round 8, now this fighter for round 9, this fighter for round 9, and then round 7 they fight, round 8 they fight, round 9 they fight. Oh, and here's Brunhilde. You know, and that's the basic, like, there's nothing fun. It's not all over the place. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not chaotic enough. It's very structured. It's very ordered. Almost like you were going to preview. It did feel like a preview. Just instead of an opening, it feels like a preview of the season. You know, more than anything. While you can argue that openings should do that or can do that, I find them very boring. Because most anime openings that I know, and the ones that I love, some scenes in there never actually happen. It's just, oh, let's show some action, let's put these characters together, let's show some symbology is what a lot of them do. I mean, almost all the openings of older ones, you know what I mean? Like the Inuyashas and the Kenshins and the I'm just trying to think of some older ones, even the Death Note ones. So much symbology in the big ones, which of course everybody loves, the 2 Death Note openings. So a lot of symbolism there, a lot of symbology and stuff, and it's just a little chaotic and stuff. This is just way straightforward to the point, and as I said, feels like a movie preview rather than an opening. So, but that being said, the animation isn't bad, and the opening song is pretty good. It's pretty stellar, not gonna lie. I do like the opening song. So maybe that's just me. It could be a nitpick, but as I said, I prefer my openings to be more about just seeing my characters in different situations. Maybe situations you'd never see them in, sort of idea. And just, you know, in general, I can't, I'm drawing a bit of a blank here, but I know even One Piece openings and stuff like that. Like, one of them had Kizaru versus Sanji, you know, just for some fun, to just showcase, here's some characters, boom, boom, clashing and stuff like that, in the sky, and, oh, these people are on a fire island, and, you know, these people are chilling on an ocean, you know, they're chilling on the beach, like, overlooking on a cliff and stuff, and that never happens, but you can still showcase that. So for me, as I said, I found the actual opening, scene by scene, quite bland, but the song was good. The song definitely had a good beat. Now, the ending theme, as I said, most of that is just pretty much, you know, about the song. The ending is what you expect from a lot of these endings. You know, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. They don't do endings like they used to. They usually just allow it to be credits, mostly just looping GIFs almost, or a moving object like a Harry Potter newspaper sort of idea, like the same still image moving for about 20 seconds, and they shift to another one, a moving image for 20 seconds, you know? So nothing really to write home about that. Even if it looks pretty, it's very simple in that regard. The ending theme, not as good as the opening theme, but a little more quieter, a little softer, which an ending, of course, generally is. So, you know, the opening is usually wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you know, and then the ending theme is, you know, the flutes and the piano and the violin and stuff like that, and it's, alright, there's no drums, you know what I mean? So yeah, both songs definitely suited, not crazy about the actual openings and stuff themselves. Now that being said, let's now that we've covered both of those for the first half of this, let's move on to episode 3, because, and actually it's good that I brought up the opening and ending here because there's really not a whole lot to talk about other than I definitely enjoyed this. We're moving at a good pace. We get 3 major parts to the episode, I would argue. The first part being Chin's backstory number 1, because he gets 2 for some reason. He gets the one where it's talked about how he acquired his martial arts, how he acquired his technique. He fought a demon god of legend of the Chi-Yo and stuff and learned the 5 points of martial combat by fighting and defeating him, I guess. It's left kind of vague, but it's basically like, okay, he was praised as the god of martial arts and stuff like that, or a demon of martial arts and stuff, and he was of military arts. And after Qin managed to defeat him, all emperors and stuff like that, they cowered in his wake, and no king could be a king unless he decided. And when Qin finally unified all of China, he went up there and said, absolutely not, you and I are going to fight. They fought for 6 days, they fought for a better part of a week, and he defeated him, and boom, he came down as the first emperor of China. So, not a bad backstory, pretty cool, pretty straight to the point. We go back to the fight, and the fight's pretty clean. The fight is pretty crisp, not gonna, like, it's done quite well. And Windows notifications, gotta shut the hell up when I'm reviewing. But yeah, so the fight animation wise is done really well. As I said, I really appreciate the voice acting for a lot of this and stuff, and I'm just gonna say it. I wanted this to be a round 5 situation. It wasn't going to be because there was nothing really to redo pacing wise that bothered me in round 5, unlike the manga. The big thing is what goes down here, and the air bubbles. The air bubbles, bubbles. They still bother me. Okay, I tried to not let them bother me. But they bother me. They bother me a lot, and they still bloody bother me, okay? The whole air bubbles thing is, like, he basically has 3 things. Qin is overhaxed and very overpowered because he gets some super martial arts from defeating a demon god when he was a human, right? Okay. And that's his power, and that's how he's able to block and redirect attacks and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, so that's where his strength lies. Nay, it feels like I'm doing the narrator thing. Nay, he also has the ability to see star points, with his eyes and stuff like that. And as a result of being able to see the flow of chi, he can just shoot an air bubble and disrupt that chi, and it completely screws up even somebody at Hades level, screws up their ability to death blow, stops their attacks, blah, 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 blah. And he can utilize this. But is that just all? Nay, the fact that Sasuke and them bring it up is, and Okita, they all talk about it, saying that doing that to a moving target is like, even Sasuke's like, well, I can't say it's impossible because we're literally seeing it happen right now. But before this fight, I would have said, yeah, no, like, I don't know anybody who can pull that off. Like, seriously, I don't know anybody who can do that. It's nuts. And the fact that he's pulling it off in a moving target in the heat of battle, that's kind of ridiculous. Because the fact that, by the sounds of it, pulling it off in general, in a perfect environment and stuff, is like, so difficult. And now this is on top of it, so that's crazy. And then, as we know, the eyes, he ends up taking in all the pain when his eyes are revealed or whatever like that. It's a little, here in the episode or whatever, but he ends up, any damage he giveth, he then taketh on as a result, right? So he can use the eyes to use the star points or the chi points and stuff like that, and he can disrupt them, but as a result, when he does damage using this technique, when he uses his eyes, it's sort of vague, but apparently when he uses his eyes to do damage, he ends up getting a blow. Now, you would think this would be a negative connotation, but we'll get to that later. Either way, this man is stacked for all intents and purposes. So it's a little bit difficult to be all yay about him. But the laughing scene was right on the money and stuff like that. The fact that Hades laughed and the whole crowd's like, wait, what? And then Shin's like, all right, I'll go along with it. He's laughing, I might as well laugh. And then he straight up just starts laughing with him. Then he asks a question. He's just like, so what are we laughing at, by the way? Like, I'm enjoying a good laugh with you, man. But from one king to another, I'm enjoying a good laugh. But what are we laughing at? What's funny? And, you know, he explains that, you know, you gave a very similar answer that my brother gave about being a god. You know, the answer you gave about being a king, he had a similar answer on what it is to be a real god, to be a true god. So what makes a king sort of idea. And what we're going to learn later on, of course, no spoilers, but there's also similar veins to other characters. So I definitely enjoyed that portion of it, but still, unfortunately, the air bubbles thing really takes me the hell out of it. I'm like, really? Like, oh man, the air bubbles. So, the air bubbles. It just, yeah, I can't get over that. I just can't get over that. I'm sorry. But anyways, we move on to the last scene of the thing. So they're both fighting. They're beating each other, pretty black and blue, pretty bloodied up. Straightforward, because these two are not playing around like the other rounds, and I do appreciate that about round 7, is that both of them were going for kills the moment they had the opportunity. Neither one of them is pulling their punches, trying to enjoy the fight or any tactical retreats or anything. It's like, nope, head-on fight between two kings. Let's do this. You're a king, I'm a king. Put your dukes up, and let's go to it, baby. You know, so I appreciate that. I do. And then the final part, as I said, goes on to the second backstory, because she doesn't need just multiple techniques given to him. He also needs, you know, plus his Valen. No. He needs also on top of that, not one backstory, but 2 backstories, baby. So we start off with that at the end of the episode, just with one quick scene about the history of how he was born and stuff like that, and how he was unwanted. And we meet Chinese Brunhilde. Literally Chinese Brunhilde. In the manga, they don't even try in the anime to make her look any different. No, same eye color and everything. This is Chinese Brunhilde. Alright? So, but we love Chinese Brunhilde. We enjoy Chinese Brunhilde. So, she's here. She's ready to go. And we're going to learn the whole backstory. I assume that's going to take up, I'm going to say probably at least half of the next episode. Because as I said, this is going at a good pace. And stuff like that. I think round 7 probably ends by episode 5. Episode 5 will probably be the conclusion. I think we've got at least episode 4. I don't think there's enough time span, unless they really rush the backstory and only do it like first 8 minutes or whatever like that. But pacing wise, I would say to give every moment its credence and stuff like that, knowing what's going to happen, assuming that not much changes from the manga. And so far, nothing really has. Adaptation-wise, everything's been following pretty close to the marker. So, if not just straight up panel for panel. So, I would say that episode 5 is where we end off. But that makes sense. 15 episodes in the season, you know, 3 rounds to get through. It makes sense that roughly you'd be at about the 5-6 episode mark for every round, right? Because, of course, you also have to have the in-between episode. There's the in-between episodes as well that, you know, you do some lore, you do some backstory, you do some, alright, who's going to fight next, right? So some things might be quicker paced and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see for that one. But yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to say. Fuck the air bubbles. The air bubbles thing is really what I hated about round 7 the first time. And it trust me, years later now, it has not gotten any better. I still hate those bloody air bubbles. I still hate them. That's just lame. That's stupid. And I don't like it. So, anyways, that's it from me. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys back here next time for Season 3, Episode 4. Once again, I don't think that's the end of Round 7. I think there's 2 more episodes between the lengthy Chin backstory. Then, of course, the conclusion of the actual fight. But, yeah. So, anyways, that's it for me. Plus, we still have nothing from Hades yet. So we need Chin's backstory, we need Hades' backstory, and then, of course, we need to actually get back to the fight. So, anyways, that's it for me, guys. Episode 4 will be coming out sooner rather than later, I hope. And have a good one, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe. See you back here next time.